involving the consent decree. I had was sitting at the court in these meetings involving the consent decree, and it's still it's 59% that need to be currently done. But at the same time, I am confident with the platform that I have that most of these continued issues with the jail can be done without making the taxpayers pay for it, because we got to make sure that all the issues in the jail are completed. Even when the inmates destroy them, we got to make sure that they are definitely completed before they destroy them. So I know with the platform that I have, without using additional monies from the taxpayers, I'll be able to do so.
Well, my fiscal plan is I have to be able to go to the board of supervisors and ask them for the money to fix the jail. That's my number one. That's my number one go-to. But however, also if that's not possible or if that's not adequate enough, I have to reach out to our state leaders and ask our state leaders for help. As sheriff-elect, I do not as sheriff-elect, I do not mind going knocking on the door, asking for help, going to our state leaders, going to our state, the House, the Senate, asking them for help to help me with the detention center as well as the Hinds County Sheriff's Department.
My plan was just to get the job done, working with what we have, not increasing the budget, but implementing the cost of repairs, fitting into our physical budget for the fiscal year.
Fiscal plan, you're going to have a strong relationship with the Hinds County Board of Supervisors. That's one of the main elements that promote you financially at the sheriff's office.
Well, of course, with any budget, you have to look at your line items, look where you can change money, move money around. You may have programs that was previously funded on a line item. You can take from those various programs and you can apply that toward that. But also I would look for additional outside funding. Of course, I will have to work closely with the Board of Supervisors. I'll have to work closely even with the legislatures. We will also look at grant funding, monies that are out there. With this CARES Act, the amount of money that municipalities are getting as it relates to crime fighting, it is my belief that a lot of monies are out there. It's just a matter of getting my physical affairs people to look for those additional funds.
I do plan to use those at measure. So there's a lot of plans, and not only that, so it won't cost the people. I would first have to see the budget and see what has been utilized and get rid of the things that are not important at the moment.
Well, first of all, upgrading the jail is a situation where you got to work with the Board of Supervisors, because the Board of Supervisors is responsible for the infrastructure. The sheriff can only put together a budget and make requests. The sheriff is responsible for personnel and detainees. The supervisors are responsible for any repairs that's done to the building. So therefore, we got to work with the supervisors and see and prioritize, make a list, prioritize that list, and find out exactly what needs to be done first. Now, having been there, I can tell you right now that we got to get the doors to lock. We got to get windows in the cell doors. That's an issue. We already have a company on board that we're working with. They're contracted through the county. So what we have to do is continue to get them to submit the cost estimates for any work that has to be done. But you can't put the cart before the horse. There are certain things that has to be done in order to determine what dollar amount it is it's going to take to make those repairs.
Well, right now with RDC, it's been in existence for over 30 years. The problem with RDC is that the upkeep, the maintenance has been lacking. Therefore, it has incurred a a multitude of problems. The DOJ has a multitude of sanctions against it. In my opinion, continuing to pump money into that facility would be frivolous. We need a new facility, a new location. Response time for first responders. When Sheriff Lewis was in office and they had a riot in the jail, you had agencies from Madison and Rankin County responding with Jackson and Hinds SWAT team. It took an extremely long time for everybody to corral themselves and get together. I think we need a new facility placed in a centralized location to where in the event something happened, that they would be able to respond swiftly. But to continue to pump money into this, the facility that we currently have of RDC, I think would be just putting a Band-Aid on an open wound.
Well, number one, we've got to get out from under these federal mandates. Federal mandates are crippling us. That has been my goal ever since 2015 when I first ran. And you'll hear candidates saying a lot of things that I've been saying since 2015. Is there's absolutely, you're going to have bond issues and different sources to fix the jail. I mean, it's impossible to say you can be able to do that with what we have now. The jail has fallen apart. In memory serving right, the new jail was opened in 1994. Back then, the transportation cost alone was just gasoline, just to fuel to transport prisoners back and forth from Raymond to Jackson was $1 million. That's just for the fuel. That's not counting vehicle upkeep, purchase of vehicles to do the transporting, and manpower to transport. The patches that's continuously being put on the jail is costing millions. And it's just a temporary fix, and it's not working. It's not holding. They keep tearing the same things down. So we've got to have a new jail. This one has been patched up as much as it can be patched. It's like a tire. Sometimes it's just time to buy a new tire. So people have got to realize in Hinds County, I'm a taxpayer. I don't like tax increases, but I see where they're doing bond issues to fix the Russell C. Davis Planetarium in Jackson. $5 million. I think the city's donating themselves $2.5 million. Well, you're having shootouts on Capitol Street. You put all this money into the planetarium, but who's going to come if they're scared to come to the planetarium? So but people don't want to cringe when they talk about raising money for our safety and security.
Go ahead.
We have got to have a place with crime soaring out of control. We have got to have a good facility to be able to house these prisoners. We need to get out from these federal mandates, which I've already started talking to lawyers. I talked with a U.S. assistant attorney from another state who has a jurisdiction that's under mandate, and I talked with them. They all told me it's possible to get out from under this. That's where we need to start. Like I said, people got to realize if we're going to have a safe city, we've got to have adequate funding for a new detention facility.
Well, the guideline is whatever they allow me to do within the high officials, because it's always going to be the miscellaneous that have not been talked about, that you can't just do anything concerning safety for the inmates. But I'm a builder, I'm a contractor, so I would definitely make sure the jail is at a good standard for DOJ and also for the detainees and inmates that is housed in the jail within a safety guideline.
Okay, my physical plan. Increasing the jail. That jail is old dilapidated. That jail, when it was first taken over to, wouldn't pass inspection because of the stuff that wouldn't work. My plan is, since the jail downtown is already closed, tear that jail down and build another 600-man jail on that property. Build it where the employees will be safe and the inmates are safe. Safety of the employees is the most important concern of the sheriff. The safety of the inmates are also important to the sheriff. Those are my plans. I'm going to ask for a new jail because repairing that jail will cost you more, and you continue to repair the same things as if from 1992 until now, They are still repairing the same things that was broke when they first took the jail.
Well, the Hinds County Sheriff's Office is currently under a $30 million budget right now. And as we all know, the bulk of the budget that we're currently under goes to our detention facilities. So you have to have a working relationship with the Hinds County Board of Supervisors, of course, as it relates to the budget and as it relates to whatever repairs or the necessary things that are needed for the detention facilities. At this particular point, I'm not in a position where I can say that there should be an increased budget. However, there should be ongoing communications about the budget that we're currently under and to see exactly what it is that we need to do to bring the detention facilities, first of all, up to standards in an attempt to come from under the consent decree as well.
My fiscal plan is to allow the folks who are responsible for the jail to do their job. In other words, the sheriff's department, no matter what anybody else says, are basically trustees of the jail. The budget for the jail and the budget for the sheriff's department is in the sole purview of the Hinds County Board of Supervisors. Therefore, it requires a relationship with the Board of Supervisors. I think what I bring to the table in this equation is that I've established a very strong relationship with the Board of Supervisors of Hinds County. And I can certainly support that by saying I sit here as the appointed sheriff of Hinds County, appointed by the unanimous consent of the board. So to get 5 members to vote on my appointment is a Herculean effort in and of itself. But I think I can certainly convince them that we are in need of a new jail. And I already have talked to, in extensive conversation with the president of the Board of Supervisors, Creole Calhoun, who has indicated they have found a funding source to build us a new jail. So we can continue to put the Band-Aid on this tumor if we want to, but at the end of the day, the citizens of Hinds County deserve a new detention center.